Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Return to Play. I'm Brandon Hodnett. Today, I am joined by Jenny Lewis from the Swarthmore women's tennis team. Jenny, thanks so much for joining me on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Jenny, you are calling in from Chicago, Illinois. How are things there?
They're good. Definitely nice to be here in the summer. It's really nice. The lake is beautiful. So would always recommend visiting in the summer, not the winter. It's cold then. So
Jenny, what initially brought you to Swarthmore, all the way from Chicago?
yeah, so I think a couple of things. First are obviously the academics are incredible, and I really wanted a school that had great academics. I also loved the fact that I really wanted to play on a team, and I really loved the team, the camaraderie, the fact that people are really dedicated to their academics along with trying to play tennis. And I think also just the culture. I just really love the fact that it's a very collaborative atmosphere. I came from a very competitive high school, and it's nice that people really try to help each other out. There's great relationships between student and faculty. There are tons of opportunities for students to collaborate on projects, homework, stuff like that, in order to, better each other academically and sort of personally. So I've really sort of enjoyed the community aspect of it.
Oh, that's great. So you made it through your freshman year at Swarthmore, and then things really, well, I guess, and during your freshman year, things really changed. Up until March of 2020, what was Swarthmore like for you as a freshman?
It was fantastic. I absolutely loved my experience there. It was everything I could have hoped for and more. I love the people, I love the classes, love the team. And I was just really thankful to have some time there. And although our season really got short because we're a spring sport, I still felt like we got to play a few matches. And I'm just so incredibly excited to go back in the fall, and hopefully things will be pretty normal.
What's maybe one class that you really enjoyed your freshman year at Swarthmore?
So I am a prospective chemistry major, which I know will sound weird to a lot of people. But a class I really enjoyed was just the general chemistry class with Professor Catherine Riley. She really piqued my interest in pursuing chemistry more at Swarthmore. I was pre-medicine coming in, and it really sort of heightened my interest in science and potentially going into medicine. And so I'm going to be working in her lab this coming academic year, and I'm really excited to continue taking more chemistry classes and more STEM classes.
Fans that are listening to this podcast that have been around Swarthmore athletics for a long time know that Dr. Catherine Riley is one of our favorites, a great softball player at Swarthmore. So we always love when she gets a shout out. So yeah, you got the chance to work in her lab. March 2020 rolls around. The season's kind of, you've played a couple matches. You guys were getting ready to go on spring break. What was it like for you when you first started hearing some rumblings about things aren't looking good around the country? Like, is spring break going to happen? What was kind of your initial reactions?
It was definitely kind of like, it's kind of felt like everything came to a halt all of a sudden. Like we were playing Christopher Newport and NYU in a dual match a couple weeks earlier at home, and a few weeks later we weren't sure if we could travel to California. And so it was definitely a little bit weird, sort of having everything, like not even sure we're going to come back to school, hearing from President Valerie Smith that we were going to have to be going home. It just felt like everything was changing extremely quickly. But I think we did a really good job of just trying to be supportive of each other as a team, and trying to just hear everyone's opinions and feelings, and doing what was best for everyone as a collective unit. And we decided not to go. And I think that we had a lot of fun, or as much fun as we could have in Swarthmore, just hanging out with each other. And I think that we all just really tried to take advantage of the time because we weren't sure when we were going to see each other next. And for some of us, it's been up till now, we still haven't seen each other. For me, I've been on a gap year. And for others who were back on campus, it was just maybe 6 months or so, but still, that's a lot of time. So we enjoyed our time together.
Mm-hmm. So you ended up going back home after things shut down. Was it hard to find like places to play tennis or to train, to go to the gym? What was that like for you, trying to stay, keep your tennis skills sharp?
Yeah, it was definitely hard at the beginning, especially because Chicago, I think like a lot of places, was completely on lockdown for the first few months. And so like all of the gyms were closed, and I had a little bit of exercise equipment in my house. but not like a lot, definitely by no means a gym. So it was a little bit hard. But I think when the summer came around and people were starting to be able to go outside and train outdoors, and that was really when tennis picked up for me, and I was able to go out and play with my friends, and also be able to train on the court. And then after that, kind of throughout this past year, it's been pretty consistent with being able to train.
Yeah. So you decided to take a gap year. What were some ways that you found to fill your time, away from school?
During my gap year, as I said, I'm pre-med. And one of the things, or the main thing I did, was that I did research with a bunch of doctors who are orthopedists at the University of Chicago. And I've done a bunch of different types of research for them, some including database research, some including clinical research. I'm actually in the process now of doing a clinical study where I'm working with residents and reading these like x-rays and radiographs, which is really neat. And a couple of weeks ago, I actually presented at my first conference as a podium speaker. We discussed this database article that we just recently submitted for publication, me as a first author. And so that was a really fantastic experience. And then I'm also in the process of submitting other papers for publication and also submitting other abstracts that I've been working on throughout the year for conferences that will be upcoming throughout this academic year and the following academic year.
That's awesome. But medical school is a goal for you eventually?
Yeah, for sure. I think doing this is really sort of kind of increase kind of enhance my interest in medicine even more and helping people. I've always really been interested in doing it. And I actually had a shoulder surgery when I was growing up that sort of led me to want to go into sports medicine to help people to begin with. And I think that this really just kind of showed how great, how much these doctors really help, whether it's research or patient care. So it's been a really great experience.
Oh, that's awesome. That sounds really, really fulfilling, and that's great. You did get to play some matches at Swarthmore before things shut down. What was the experience of playing collegiate tennis like for you? Being out there on the court, playing at I know you got to play in like the SWAT invite, the ITA tournaments in the fall, and then a couple matches in the spring. How did the college game compare to the high school game that you were used to?
Yeah, I really loved playing college tennis. I think growing up, tennis is such an individual sport, and we spend so much time on our own, competing, and it's just everyone's kind of just, it's just everyone for themselves. And I love the fact that at school, everyone was cheering each other on. It was a very sort of loud, dynamic atmosphere. I like the fact that I got to watch my teammates compete and I got to root them on. And it just felt like kind of being part of a team, which is something that tennis, except for high school tennis, wasn't really what that was like growing up. Nothing bad about that, but it's really nice to kind of have sort of the best of both, because obviously in your match, it's just you against the other person. If you're playing singles or doubles, it's 2 against 2, but you're also part of this team that is trying to support you and help you. And we have great coaches with Coach Loomis and Dusty, and it's been just a really great atmosphere.
That's great. And did you feel like you were able to kind of still keep up with the team while you were on your gap year and kind of stay in touch with people, or was it difficult?
Yeah, I think that Coach Loomis has done a really good job of just trying to keep everyone sort of in close contact. And we've done a lot of Zooms where we've basically just been chatting with each other, whether it's basically just keeping up, or we've been doing some virtual games, or whether we've been reading books together in kind of like a book club. We've been really trying to stay in touch with everyone. And I've also been trying to stay in touch individually. And I think it's been a really great experience. So I appreciate the fact that Coach Loomis and our other teammates have really taken initiative and have wanted to stay in touch with each other.
Well, I'm sure you are very excited to see them all in person in September, end of August. What do you think that's going to be like, the reunion there?
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I've actually seen 2 of my teammates who visited Chicago, Sonia Varma and Sophie Brown, and that was a lot of fun. But I'm excited to see everyone. It might be a little bit weird at first, but it'll be a lot of fun. And I think we're just going to all be excited to just go back to playing tennis together, hanging out together. And yeah, we'll just be excited to go out and work and have fun.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Swarthmore Athletics Podcast. If you like what you heard, please subscribe, leave us a 5-star review, and share it with your friends.